Hello and welcome to my channel for this Deer tutorial. Thank you for joining me. I'm really sorry, I do apologise, I'm full of cold, so I'll try not to sniff and cough too much. But anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I'm really looking forward to doing this one. This is my first Patreon tutorial. I wanted to do a deer for ages, so I thought I came across this beautiful deer, so yeah, I thought I'd just go for it and yeah, do it for my first Patreon tutorial. So so here goes. So the line art, the link for the line art and the reference photo is in the details below. I'm just gonna sort of keep it really relaxed. No pressure, and I'll just go through what colours I'm choosing, and yeah, just how I'm doing things as I go, really. So I'd really love to hear your feedback. Just let me know if you've enjoyed it, if there's anything you'd like me to change, anything you'd like to see. Yeah, just get in touch, it'd be great to hear from you. So I'm just going to start off on the eyes. So they are, as you can see from the reference photo, very black, but I'm still going to go in with my favourite, my dark sepia, to do the outline and everything first, and then we will go from there. So I'm just going to make sure it's nice and sharp. I'm just going to see if I can zoom in a bit more. Okay. So I'm just going to get my eraser and my soft brush. Okay, so I'm just going to start with the left eye first. So I'm just going to remove just a little bit of the line art around the edge. With it being quite dark, I'm not going to take too much away so that I can really see where I need to be. It is quite straight down that side, the angle that it's at, and then kind of comes up around here, round off. Okay, and then there's a couple of sort of where the light's hitting the eye. There's a couple of sort of little white sort of spots, so I'm just going to mark those in so that obviously I don't lose them. Now the one at the top, I'm going to actually use a lighter pencil. I'm going to use the warm grey one, just because it's a bit lighter at the top of the eye. So, but just like I say, so I don't lose it and I can see where it is. I'm just going to pop it in. So it's about here. Not a perfect circle, but sort of quite a freehand, loose sort of circle, really. Okay, and then I'm going to get the dark sepia back. and the sort of bottom half of the eye. I'm going to put the dark sepia down as the base layer. I'm just going to go in a little bit heavier, sort of a medium pressure. Sorry, I'm trying not to press too hard, but I'm getting quite a bit of sort of crumbling from the lead, which I don't usually get. And then I'm going to get the black. Sorry, it will be in the detail below, but I forgot to say, I should have said at the start. So I'm using Fabriano Artistico hot pressed watercolour paper in the extra white. Oh my gosh, is it called extra white? I'm sure it's called extra white. And it's in the 640 GSM. So it's very, very thick, really takes these layers nicely. And I'm using the Faber Castell Polychromos pencils. These are amazing. These are pretty much all I use. I have probably 2, maybe 3 Caran Luminance pencils. Apart from that, yeah, I just always use the Polychromos. They're oil based, they're so movable and lovely. Yeah, and I've always had a great result from it, so I've always sort of never really felt the need to try other brands really. So I'm just going to get the black here. So on sort of this right side of the dark area, it is pretty black, so I'm just going to gently go in with the black, sort of a medium-ish pressure. And just kind of keep going over that area just to make it darker. I don't want to go in just, although it is solid black, I don't want to go in too heavy straight away. You still kind of need to build it up rather than just go straight in. Otherwise, although the paper's super thick and can take it, that's when you can start sort of damaging the fibres on the page and sort of ending up with sort of white marks. So yeah, still build up your black areas. I'm also going to go, I'm just going to make it a bit sharper actually, because I'm going to go along the bottom line with the black. And then I'm also going to go along this top edge here with the black as well. And then the lighter area at the top of the eye, I'm actually going to use the cold grey. If you've not used the cold greys before, they're a bit more of a bluey, colder tone. So I'm just going to grab a cold grey one first. I'm just going to sharpen it a little bit, not massively, but and then I'm just going to go round the white circle that I told you about, just to put in the base of the cold grey. Okay, and then I'm actually going to get a blue, I think. Sorry, bear with me. The pencils have been muddled up a bit. Let me just try and find. So there's a colour called Dark Indigo that I'm just looking for. Okay, I found it. So Dark Indigo, which is number 157. So actually, I think that needs to be a bit sharper again too. So I've just gone kind of dark around the edge of the white spot where the light's reflecting, and then just sort of blended away from it. And I'm going to do the same on this side but along the top. So sort of do a darker line of the dark indigo along the top, and then blend down. She's just going to make this one a little bit smaller. And then there's a colour called this is from the Caran range that I was telling you about. I don't think it will focus, but in the Caran range it's called Museum Aquarelle White. This is the only white that I've ever found will go over darker colours and sort of show. It's really highly pigmented, so it's great for like whiskers and things like that. But I'm just going to, it's quite a soft blurred line sort of across the middle of the eye, separating that darker and lighter area. So I've just got it, it's quite a soft pencil, so it's hard to get super sharp. I'm just going to go along that line. Like so. And then I'm not going to fiddle too much with the eye because, yeah, there isn't a huge lot to it. Then I'm just going to grab the black, and it's almost got like a kind of a thicker black line, sort of the eyelid. Okay, I'm just going to go over it again, just a bit heavier. And then underneath, I think I'm going to use Cold Grey for I just keep turning the pencil to make sure I get the sharpest point, because obviously as you go round it blunts off slightly, so just keep turning it if you need to. Then we're just going to lightly brush across the white bit in between with the same colour, just a much lighter pressure, but a bit heavier in this left corner. Okay, and then I just keep looking back at the reference photo. So I think what I'm going to do is, with the dark sepia, I'm just going to put the markings in here. Excuse me. Don't stress too much about getting these completely accurate. You know, you can really overthink it and send yourself a bit crackers with it, so don't stress too much. I have got you, it might look a bit sort of distorted, but the shape of it and everything, because I have got you sort of slightly to the side so that my hand isn't covering over what I'm doing. So hopefully you can see that quite clearly. Then I'm just going to get the warm grey one, and I'm just going to put a light base layer down, sort of a medium pressure in the area, the shapes that I've just put in. Then I'm going to get the Walnut Brown. And then with the Walnut Brown, I'm just going to just lightly fill in. I'm going to do kind of small strokes for the direction of the fur, and then along this edge excuse me, this edge just here, it's a bit darker, so I'm going to go in a bit heavier and then blend out from that. And just like a light to medium pressure here. And I'm just going to get the dark sepia again. just do a little bit over the top. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other eye. So the other eye, as you can see from the reference photo, it's sort of in the shade side. The light's coming in from this left. So the right eye is pretty much just black. But again, I'm going to go in with the dark sepia first, just to map it out. So I do the outline. Around here. And around the outside of the eye. As you can see, there's sort of a white bit of light here, so. And then just round around there. And then I think the outer of the eye, I am going to go straight in with black on, which I don't usually do. But I just feel that is a very, very slight tone difference. Although look, it looks black between the eyeball and the sort of outer of the eye. So I'm going to go in with the dark sepia on the actual eyeball. So, like I said, I always go in with light pressure first, just to make sure I've done the right thing, and then go in a bit heavier. And then I'm just going to get the black again. And do the outer part of the eye. I think deer eyes are so dark anyway. So when the light's not on them, you don't really get a lot from them. Now, although I'm going in with the black quite heavy now, there's no reason why sort of later on down the line I can't go over it again just to add a bit of definition, because once I've done the lighter areas around the eye, the chances are, you know, you're going to get a bit of slight overlap that might dull it a bit, so you can always go over it again to sharpen it up. Okay, and then I'm going to go on the eyeball with the black over the dark sepia base that I've put down. So just small circular motions. Excuse me. I think I'm just going to grab a drink. And then on the white, light a bit on here. I'm just going to use, if I can find it, the dark indigo. The bluey. Actually no, so there is a colour called Light Cobalt, I don't know if I said that right, but yeah, Light Cobalt Turquoise. It's number 154. And I'm just going to add a sort of whisper of it down here. And then I'm just going to get the warm grey 4, cold grey 4, and just blend up slightly from here. It's just a bit darker at the bottom. And then that's kind of pretty much all there is to that eye, really. So I think then, now I've done the eyes, I feel like I've kind of made a good start. So I think I'm actually going to go and work on one of the ears. So I think we'll just go on to the left ear. So I'm just going to adjust the camera. Okay, so hopefully that looks okay. So also I forgot to say I've got a bit of acid-free tracing paper that I'm resting my hand on. I always use that sort of, obviously no matter how clean your hands are, you're always going to have oils or grease, you know, coming out of your hands. So you know, you want to avoid that on any artwork because it can damage it over time. So I always rest my hand on the acid-free tracing paper. So I wouldn't usually do this, but I'm going to use the same base colour on the whole of the inside of the ear. I'm going to use the ivory. There's lots of other colours in there, but underneath it all I just feel like most of it is pretty much ivory. So I'm just going to remove some of the line art. Not too much because I need to obviously see where I'm going still. And then get the ivory and just circulate. Well, I'm going to go down this because there is a dark line down here, so just going to mark that out with the ivory so that I don't go into that bit with it. and then the outer shape. The eye, ear. And then just with it, I've not sharpened it, as you can see. It's quite, sorry, it's not focusing, but it's quite blunt, which I kind of want for the base layer. So I'm just going to do sort of a medium pressure, circular motion, just to lay that colour down. There's no right or wrong with sort of what order you do pictures in. Sometimes it depends on the subject. Sometimes I'll pretty much always start with the eye, but then sometimes I'll work my way out from it and just do that. Sometimes I'll kind of just move about quite a bit. So as I say, there's no right or wrong with how you want to do it. There's no right or wrong with technique either. You know, the way I'm showing you is just the way that I've learned to do it. You know, it might not be for everybody, but everybody's different, so hopefully it'll be useful though. Handy. Do apologise, I think the camera's moved. I'm just going to move it slightly. Sorry about that. I think you can still see that okay. Oh, excuse me. Hopefully for the next part, when I film, hopefully my cold will be gone. It's typical whenever I want to do some recording. I always end up with something. It's quite often roadworks outside or something like that on the days I want to film. Okay, so you want to sort of be smoothing the tooth of the paper with your base layer. So you can keep going over it if you feel you need to. Oh, I meant to say with the eyes as well. With the little white spots that you sometimes get from, you know, where light reflects and things like that. You know, as you can see, I let the paper sort of do the work for me. But there is another way of kind of brightening it up. So if you've got a really fine, really small paintbrush and a little tube of white gouache paint, sometimes just brightens it a bit, which I may do on that left eye a little later on. So the other colours I'm going to use on the ear, going to grab the Nougat, and just going to try and find the Bistre as well. I'll just get a few other colours together. Okay, so the colours, the browns I've got together for now, for the ear, are Raw Umber, Burnt Umber, Nougat and Bistre. Sorry, Bistre. And I think what I'm going to do is just get the Burnt Umber and just mark out some of the darker areas. So actually I'm also going to get a colour called Burnt Sienna, which is kind of a reddy brown. I just have those 5 sort of at the ready. So I think up here, always follow the direction of the fur as well. Hair in the ears goes in all directions. To be fair, this one isn't too bad. But you just roughly marking out where they are just makes it a bit easier. All drawings as well, you will find, will go through what I call the ugly stage. They will have a point where you think, oh my god, what even is this? Like, it's not looking like it. Always stick with it, it will. They all go through an ugly stage, just trust the process. Yeah, that's all I can really say. It's, don't feel disheartened and don't give up, just stick with it. And then just come down here. But yeah, it's colour pencil is very slow and it is a huge process, so you know, if you are new to it, just stick with it. Once you've done a few, you'll realise sort of how much of a process it is. Yeah, it took me a long time to kind of be okay with it, really, because I'm quite impatient sort of in life. So but I just find this so rewarding. Like, it really is so worth sticking with. Okay, oh, just going to do up here as well. Excuse me, right. So I think next I'm going to get the Nougat. No, I'm not. I'm going to get the Bistre. Sorry, like I say, I can't make a decision. I'm just going to sharpen it a little. going to kind of work on this area up here. If you sharpen it too much and it's a bit too sharp for what you're doing, just kind of on your spare bit of paper or tracing paper, I just kind of, you know, scribble down to just blunt it off a little bit. I have sharpened it a little too much there, but so I'm just going to put a slight base of the Bistre down. Just had to check I was using the right one then, it looked quite bright. Okay, and then sort of quite a lightish, mediumish pressure, not too heavy at all. And then I'm going to get the Nougat. Just again, like I say, just following the direction of the fur. I'm just going to get the burnt sienna, and on this area in the direction of the fur, just going to lay some of this colour down. And again, like this whole bit here has got sort of burnt sienna vibes in it, so sorry, my little boy's downstairs making a bit of a noise. So I'm just going to get as well, I'm going to get the Walnut Brown. And then it's quite a bit darker here. Okay, so just still with the Walnut Brown, just going to carry on over this area. These pencils are great for blending different colours. Yeah, because they're so movable, because they're wax based, oil based. They're just fab. If you've ever tried any of the other brands, do let me know. Be good to hear what people like to use, or pros and cons of different brands. Excuse me. Okay, then I think I'm going to grab the raw umber. I'm just going to go through this bit here. And then I think what I'm going to do for the darker hairs is grab the dark sepia and sort of mark in the darker hairs. You still want to make sure you can see the lighter colour through. And I'm actually going to grab the burnt umber and just put some of that down in between. Concentrate on this area here. In fact, I'm just going to grab the dark sepia. There might be things you notice of areas, you know, as you move on to a different area, you'll start to notice little things that you might not have seen when you were sort of looking for it. So yeah, you can always add things back in as you go round. So I'm just going to get the Nougat. Actually, sorry, I'm going to get the Walnut Brown just on this area here because I don't want to lose it once I start putting the Nougat in. So I'm just going to go along here. And then just brush sort of fur strokes the direction of the fur along the edge here. And then the Nougat, I'm just going to very, very lightly sort of put a layer down. Again, small circular motions with the flat side of the pencil. And just gently filling this area here. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab the Bistre. I'm just going to do some little shapes, really, almost like a crisscross triangle. With quite a light, fairly light pressure. There's sort of a lighter strip of colour here, so I'm just going to kind of not do it up to there, I'm just going to kind of leave a bit of a gap in between. Fur in the ear is quite sort of crisscrossy, it's not straight. I know I've done it here, but when I go back over with the dark sepia to add darker areas, I will do the sort of crisscross. And then just going to grab back the Nougat and do the crisscross with this colour from this strip of colour along here, and just kind of work my way out from it, leaving this colour fairly blunt, just so it kind of keeps it a bit softer. Then I'm going to get the dark sepia again. This colour honestly will be like your best friend. It's so useful, and because you can obviously be as light or as heavy with the pressure as you want, you can kind of get so many different colours out of it. So yeah, it's very versatile. And doing this sort of crisscross shape for the fur as well really allows those other colours to show through. I mean, you know, they do anyway, but you know, you really get more of a sense of it. I'm just with a really light pressure, just putting some crisscrosses along this lighter strip of colour. And then just look for those little darker areas. You know, this is what really helps, you know, with the realism effect. Yeah, these little marks help make it pop. And then we'll go soften up from here, I think. This dark sepia, it's like I say, it's just fantastic. It's such a it's kind of a browny black. It's just not quite as harsh as just black. So yeah, if you're wanting it a bit softer, this is the colour. Just constantly looking back at my reference photo. Because there'll be little bits that you'll suddenly go, oh yeah, you know, really pick little bits out. I'm just going to go a bit darker on this bit here and then blend it out slightly. And then just back to this area. So you see the bit, excuse me, the burnt sienna. It's such a lovely reddy browny colour. It's great underneath. It just works really well under there. Kind of a bit darker along this edge, so okay, and then I think I'm going to grab, you know what, I think I'm actually going to get warm grey 3. Yeah, I've got it here. So, honestly, I've got such a collection of pencils on my desk here. I just end up with like a massive pile going on. So I think just from the edge of the ear, it's gonna, so yeah, this is the warm grey 3, so I'm just going to, so there's a bit more definition. And just from above this darker area, it's going to go light, sort of slight bit heavier on the line. Then you just want to be kind of, with the flat edge, just gently blending away from that line. And then I'm just going to make some more kind of markings. This is still with the Warm Grey 3. Just away from this darker area, just to kind of map in the direction of the fur. And then I'm just going to grab the Nougat again, because sort of from here there's a bit of a triangle of colour. And then I only kind of really sharpen my pencil and make it super sharp when I'm putting the detail in kind of on the top layer, if you like. Other than that, you don't need them kind of super sharp all the time, otherwise you kind of end up indenting the paper. So you know, you kind of need to that's why you need to put your base layers down a bit heavier first. And then I'm just going to get Warm Grey 4, if I can find it. And I'm going to, I just feel like there's a bit of greyness. Obviously it's sort of warmer tones around here, isn't it? So Warm Grey 4. Sorry, there's a lot of farm machinery going up and down today. So loud. Oh, my stomach's rumbling. There's sort of some darker bits. So again, I'm kind of going to crisscross a little bit with the pointy, sharper bit of the pencil, just to add add some darker lines in. Gosh, I'm so sorry, that was my stomach. And then I'm going to get the Nougat for sort of these lighter areas here for in between. So just working my way from the edge into the lighter area, just with some little strokes, fur strokes, hair strokes, because obviously it's not completely, it's not just light area, you can see the hair going across it. And then I'm going to get the dark sepia again, and I'm going to, actually, sorry, first I'm going to grab the Walnut Brown, just make some triangular shapes, just really rough, don't be, you know, quite loose, don't be too, you don't want it too neat and tight, so just, yeah, just looser. Sorry, my battery just died, so hopefully it didn't cut any of the footage off. Anyway, we're ready to go for a bit longer now. So yeah, I've still got the warm grey 4. Just going to, I feel like there's a bit of a line here. Just going to grab the Walnut Brown, just do a couple of hair strokes across again. And then I'm just going to grab the warm grey 3 and then just put a few crisscross strokes into this area here. And then I'm going to get the, this might seem like a slightly strange choice of colour, but trust me, bear with me. So this, sorry, excuse me, it's called Cinnamon, number 189. And sorry, all my pencils are falling on the floor, bear with me. So, yeah, so Cinnamon 189. So across here there's a couple of kind of, yeah, lighter kind of shapes of this colour. Now I'm going to use really light pressure. It's almost like a couple of triangular sort of shapes, sort of rounded triangular shapes. So I'm just going to gently like this. And then there's a bit of a gap where you can just sort of see the ivory there. And then a couple more up here. Yeah, so quite a light pressure, just sort of a hint of the colour really. Okay, and then I'm going to get warm grey 3 again, just put some shapes through here, just some hair strokes, again being quite loose. With how I put them down, don't want them kind of perfectly straight, so crisscrosses, just randomness really, just helps make it look more natural. So yeah, so coming off this in a bit, there aren't really any on this outer line, so I'm going to kind of leave that as it is for now. Quite nice this colour because it can be kind of a bit of a mushroomy, light brown sort of mushroomy colour, so it's very useful for these natural tones. And then I'm just going to grab the burnt umber and just do a couple of longer triangular hairs coming out of here, this centre bit that's darker. I'm just going to get the warm grey 4 again, and there's just a slight kind of line of that colour down here. And then the Walnut Brown. So it's actually quite a dark line of Walnut Brown down here, quite a dark smooth line. I'm just going to put that in there, and then And the hair's going like all over the shot really in the ear, so yeah, the looser you can make it, the more natural it will feel. Like I keep saying, sorry, I know I do repeat myself. And just a slight whisper of it down here as well. I'm just going to get the warm grey 2. I think the 3 might be a bit dark for this bit. I'm just going to keep it blunt but still kind of pretend I'm doing sort of fur strokes, just to add that softness in. And just to soften this edge off as well, just sort of blend it off. I love the warm greys, I use them so often. Yeah, they're just brilliant, such great neutral colours for these natural tones. I'm just going to grab the warm, excuse me, the warm grey 4 again. It's actually a bit darker through here. Again, see, you know, this is what I mean about as you go round you'll notice things, you know, little marks or bits that are actually a bit darker, and you can just easily go in and just add them in. So don't panic about completely finishing an area before moving on. You know, you can totally add in afterwards. I'm just going to use the warm grey 4 to carry on down here slightly. As I say, there's not like a, you know, it's not like a real definitive line, but there is a bit of sort of a softness down to this bit. And then I'm actually going to use warm grey 3, sort of fairly heavy as the base under this bit here. But I'm going to, usually like I say, I do the base layer in circular motions, but to keep the kind of first strokes coming out here from this side, I'm going to first stroke out from them. And then from here, I'll circular down this side, if that makes sense. If you've got any questions or you're not sure what I mean, I do blab a bit, but do get in touch. Okay, and then, so now I've got that down, I think I'm actually going to go straight in then with the dark sepia, and just use different pressures. I think I just feel like this is the right colour choice for this. So yeah, I think I'll just get the burnt umber just to blend off of here, just to blend off this colour slightly. You know, I don't want a severe line, so then a dark sepia, and I'm just going to, actually I might sharpen it a little bit first. The sharpener I use, by the way, I've got the KUM Masterpiece, but I've also got the Faber Castell. Sorry, it won't focus. But it's basically, you open it up and you've got sort of different size sharpening holes on each side. It's another one that, yeah, the KUM Masterpiece and this Faber Castell one are just fantastic. Definitely good staple pieces of tools to keep in your toolbox. And again, loosely, just doing crisscross triangular. It's amazing how many different colours you can actually get out of one pencil just by using different pressures. I feel like when you're going quite heavy with this colour, you can really see the brown tone in it. Sorry, my stomach is growling. So hungry. Oh my gosh. And what I might actually do is pop a bit of black in here. So just down this darker line here, just a bit of a whisper of black, slight bit here, and then a slight bit down here as well. And then I'm going to get the warm grey 3. Just putting in here, just still with the warm grey 3, just some little darker areas that I've noticed, you know. So, excuse me, and then coming up from here are some sort of orangey tones. I think I'm just going to get the, I'll go on to the orangey tones down here after. I'm just going to kind of go around with the raw umber. Just add in some markings that I can see with this colour. Okay, so I'm going to leave it here for the first part of this Deer tutorial. I'll just zoom out slightly. There you go, just so you can see what we've done. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know, like I say, if you've got any questions or comments, drop me a message or pop it on here, and I will record part 2 very shortly. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for joining me.